I said safe and chic, 7 days a week. Wear a mask, please. Make that COVID curve weak. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'm asking that you wear a mask, please. When you're out at a shop, you've got. I said safe and chic, 7 days a week. Wear a mask, please. Make that COVID curve weak. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'm asking that you wear a mask, please. When you're out at a shop, you've got to wear a mask, please. Don't just hold it like a prop, you've got to wear a mask, please.
Put it on, let it match your clothes. Rock the science with the pose, with the mask right on your face, so it covers your mouth and nose. Let the doctors be your guide. Block all the droplets, keep them inside. Wear it secure, not left untied. On your chin, can't let that slide. Curves to spread, can't be denied. Wear a mask and do it with pride. I want you to put that face mask on right in front of your schnoz. It's not cruel, don't be a fool. Out in public, it's a rule. I don't mean to ridicule, but let me take you all to school.
No squabbling, bothering, please don't deride me. Quick mask up, give me 6 feet beside me. I'll show you how to wear it, even though it should be easy. I'll run real far for like just too close to me. Get a test if you're sick. It's not that bad and super quick. If you're positive, don't be afraid. Just isolate to keep others safe.
Now get your water and your soap. You've got to wear a mask. Please don't take it down just for pictures. Got to wear a mask. Please can't have transmission. Don't dismiss me. Got to wear a mask. Please now don't complain, cause I wanna see you wear a mask, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm asking that you wear a mask, please. When you're out at a shop, you've got to wear a mask, please. Don't just hold it like a prop, you've got to wear a mask, please. Now from the hop, it's a bop, saying wear a mask, please. When you go out to the shop, you've got to wear a mask, please. You've got to stop, 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 and just wear a mask, please. Don't just hold it like a prop, you've got to wear a mask, please. Huh.
What it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? It is that time once again. We are here all the way live from ZFG HQ. I got the studio audience. They are all 30 feet apart wearing astronaut helmets because they ain't trying to catch this Rona right now, y'all. And I, of course, am Andru Defeye, a.k.a. the Guerrilla Poet Laureate, a.k.a. the Hoodie God, a.k.a. Zaddy Elastic Pants, a.k.a. I will cook and eat a whole meal all up in the Zoom room without even putting myself on mute. You know what I'm saying? Snack Master General, a.k.a. I wear my sunglasses at night indoors because my eyes are as sensitive as my heart is, y'all. We have quite an amazing show tonight for you. I've got Rowe coming through. Big fan favorite out here in Sacramento. And man, it's we're getting close. It's episode 9 of 10 with the Latino Center of Art and Culture. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Office of Art and Culture making this possible. So we really appreciate y'all. And we even got some press love today in the SNR. Let me see if I could pull this thing up for you. Yeah. Got a little write up. I do want to talk about it real quick though. Can I talk about it? Can I just be real frank with y'all? Because it says, although much of the Sacramento Artist Corps' work has yet to be seen by the public, the live streaming group has been working since October 19th to spread information about coronavirus through shows such as Sacramento Poet Laureate Andru Defeye's Masked Up. Since it premiered, Defeye has used Masked Up to share the latest Rona numbers with a casual attitude that borders on irreverence. Masked Up plays every Monday night at 8:08 p.m. On Sunday is Dominic Garcia's bilingual COVID Loops music show. And on Tuesday is Justine Lopez's COVID Knowledge, respectively. Now, first thing I need to talk about, y'all missed a couple of my people. You know what I'm saying? How you going to forget Jesse and Roberto and their shows? You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're tuning in to the whole lineup. Also, can we just talk about I'm a laureate. Do you know what that means? No, seriously, do y'all know what that means? Because I haven't figured it out quite yet. But it means I work with words. You know what I mean? So irreverent. When you call something irreverent, it means showing a lack of respect for people or things that are generally taken seriously. That's what they say we're doing here. You know what I mean? How many times have you heard me say that the studio audience is sitting at least 20 feet apart and wearing astronaut helmets? Does that sound like we are not taking Miss Rona seriously? You know what I'm saying? My co-host flew out to New Zealand as not to catch the stupidity that was going around because of the Rona. He got in trouble because he yelled at people 3 weeks in a row and called them stupid for not wearing their masks. You know what I'm saying? We take this very seriously around here. Let that not be confused. You know, we on the real, I do like to keep it a little bit light, but that's because, you know, the science shows that if you are stressed, that brings down your immune system. That's how people get sick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we try to keep it balanced out here, you know? So shout out to the SNR for the love, and maybe we could talk again more as I get ready to bust this big news that we got coming out for y'all. And as always, you can tune in. Pop in on the Latino Center of Art and Culture's page, and you will see that you can comment, and your comments will come up right there, and I will be able to see them. If you do that on my personal page, you will not be able to see them. So, you know, if you want to join the conversation, make sure you do so at the Latino Center's page. And right now, we're just going to get directly into the show, y'all. It's been a couple of weeks. Last week, we did an amazing holiday special with a bunch of amazing poets. That's still up on the Sacramento Poetry Salon. So it's been a couple weeks since I've done this, but it's time for the Run Math. Y'all, look at these numbers. You see this graph growing? This comes to us via Michael McGough from the Sacramento Bee. Across the 6-county area of Sacramento, El Dorado, Placer, Sutter, Yolo, and Yuba counties, nearly 98,000 residents have tested positive for COVID-19, and at least 1,132 have died. Sacramento County has reported a total of 63,131 infections since the onset of the pandemic, and 827 residents have died of COVID-19. County health officials added 3,361 additional cases Monday for a 4-day reporting period, including Christmas and the weekend, along with 18 newly reported virus deaths. By date of death occurrence, the county now reports 152 deaths for December 1st through December 22nd, including 148 in just the first 18 days of the month. December has surpassed the 144 from November to become the second deadliest month of the pandemic for Sacramento County residents. The current month remains on track to surpass 200, well exceeding the 181 deaths from August. Virus hospitalizations in Sacramento County have declined in the past few days, while ICU patient totals remain elevated. The overall total in hospital beds fell from a record high 518 reported Wednesday to 452 in Sunday's update. State data showed 99 ICU patients countywide as of Sunday, but the number of available ICU beds has increased from 63 to 84 in the past 8 days as hospitals work to expand surge capacity. for the 13-county greater Sacramento County area. Our 3-week lockdown window ends this Thursday on New Year's Eve. Y'all, we did it. We out of that high lockdown. Greater Sacramento has fluctuated around but mostly above the 15% benchmark used as the initial trigger for the stay-at-home order since mid-December. As of Sunday, we had 17.8 ICU availability. So we are close. You know what I mean? We're not completely out of the woods yet, but that 17.8 puts us above that 15%. So let's keep it going. You heard a couple weeks ago the nurses talking about how little room that they actually had. So you know, let's make sure we still staying on it. And right now, we're gonna bring in it's everybody's favorite segment. You know, it's No Strings Attached with Zeus Fitzgerald. You thought Zeus was going to be here. No, Zeus is still not here. Zeus is still in New Zealand. Why? Because he has a pre-existing condition to catching the second pandemic that is going on right now, which he calls stupidity, right? Because he can't get the Rona because his lungs are made of cotton, but he can catch stupidity because his brain is made of styrofoam. So he's out in New Zealand where they got the lowest numbers in the world. In fact, they beat the whole thing. They calling it done. They're over with. Let's also draw the conclusion here. I'm just going to set this right here for you. They also have female leadership out there. So, you know, do with that what you will. Yeah, keep it happening, Sacramento. So, you know, that being said, I did get an email from Zeus that was, it was really heartwarming. He said he hopes everybody had a good holiday, and he wanted to send some holiday cheer just for us. I don't know what this is, but we about to find out. So here it is. He made a little video, said he wanted to warm your heart for the holidays.
Okay.
Nothing.
Abre, open it. Open it.
What is that?
Wait, that's what Santa gave you? Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh no, girl.
What is it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, what is it?
Oh.
He got you coal?
No. You got coal for Christmas?
Oh, so you were good? What is that?
Cool.
He got you what?
He got me cool.
Let's see it. Oh, man. Oh, that Santa's a savage. Let me see. Okay. I'm.
Oh my gosh, it is cold, Jaden. You didn't get anything? You didn't get any presents? Honey, it's a...
I cannot hide it. What is it?
Aww.
What is that?
Aww.
What is it? Are you sure? It's okay. It's charcoal. Don't you like? We can barbecue.
Wow. That was Zeus's heartwarming Christmas for all of us. All right. I mean, I I don't have kids. That's probably why I don't have kids. Because I thought that was hilarious. All right. That wasn't exactly heartwarming. It was only funny if you're someone like me. So I got something for you. I got something that'll bring the vibe back up. I got a little user submission from MC Zeps and MC Sully out in Stockton. Check it out.
All right, so bring that mask over here, right? Hey, yo, check it out. That's a yummy cake. Listen to me or I'll say it fast. If I can't take a bite if I put on my mask, but it's okay because you heard me. To go on a journey, you don't want to catch those sticky journeys.
No, I need to wear a mask.
Yes, to keep you safe. You gotta cover your face. Anytime you go outside in the place, you gotta be safe. Was that a burp? That was cool. She's a good girl. She does so good in school.
The one named at home, I can't wear a mask. I can't be sick. I need to not wear a mask only at like school
or stores. That's true. Keep your social distance. Listen to the rhymes just for instance. Thank you very much. Don't forget to wear your mask on your nice little smile. That was Sully and Daddy Freestyle. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Come on, y'all. That didn't warm your heart. Then you's a Grinch out here. Stop it. So, all right. We brought it back up a little bit from the Rona math and crying kids because Zeus apparently thinks that's hilarious. So I guess all we got to get to now is the Rona news. So this story comes to us from Bailey Aldridge. The CDC issues new COVID vaccination guidance for people with pre-existing conditions. So the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Saturday released the guidance on COVID-19 vaccinations for people who have pre-existing conditions. Those with certain pre-existing conditions are at a higher risk of severe illness if they contract the coronavirus, and the CDC guidance says they can take an mRNA COVID-19 vaccine as long as they have not had a severe allergic reaction to any of the ingredients in the vaccine. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration previously authorized Pfizer's and Moderna's vaccines, both of which require 2 doses for emergency use. Both vaccines administer mRNA, a molecule already found in the body, directly into the muscles. The mRNA then delivers instructions telling cells how to produce antibodies against COVID-19, leaving the body with protection against the virus. The vaccines do not contain a live or inactivated virus and cannot give someone COVID-19. Did y'all hear me when I said that? The vaccines do not contain a live or inactivated virus and cannot give someone COVID-19. Both vaccines were found to be safe during clinical trials, though experts say the occasional allergic reaction is expected as more people get vaccinated. In Alaska, 2 healthcare workers experienced allergic reactions within minutes of receiving the Pfizer vaccine. The New York Times reported the first person did not have a history of allergies, and it's unclear if the second person did. Both have fully recovered. The CDC on Saturday outlined specific recommendations for certain pre-existing conditions. It also emphasized the importance of continuing to follow current guidelines for protection against the virus, including mask use and social distancing, even after being vaccinated. So for people with weakened immune systems, due to HIV or other conditions, medications may receive a COVID-19 vaccine, the CDC says. The agency says information about the safety of the vaccines for people with weakened immune systems isn't available yet. Clinical trials included people with HIV, but safety data specific to this group are not yet available at this time either. People with weakened immune system should also be aware of the potential for reduced immune responses to the vaccine, as well as the need to continue following all current guidelines. So even when you get this vaccine, you need to continue to wear your mask and social distance. For those with autoimmune conditions, they may receive the COVID-19 vaccine, but should be aware of limited safety data as well. They should be aware that no data is currently available on the safety of Myrna COVID-19 vaccines for them. Individuals from this group were eligible for enrollment in clinical trials. Autoimmune diseases are conditions in which the body's immune system attacks healthy cells. So some good news on the vaccine front, and there have been 2 million people vaccinated so far. That's wild. That's wild. We're getting there. So if anybody watching has been vaccinated, feel free to jump in with your comments right here. You know what I mean? It'd be real dope to hear from you. You know, around here, we also like to talk preventative medicine, and we usually do that in a little segment we like to call It's Called Science. So this comes to us from Melissa Wilson at Fox 26 in Houston. Studies suggest 4 vitamins can lower the risk of severe cases of COVID-19. We get all types of medical tests to evaluate everything from blood pressure to cholesterol after dozens of studies have recently shown the importance of vitamin D when fighting COVID-19. Dr. Peter Osborne with Origins Nutrition Center suggests you consider a blood test to check your vitamin levels. I think that's probably one of the smartest things that a person could do right now with an unpredictable role of a relatively unknown illness. What we do know at this point about vitamin therapy, particularly about vitamin D, a new study has come out and a new analysis has come out on what we know about it and COVID. So far, here's what we know. People with low vitamin D who get COVID have a greater tendency toward dying, have a greater tendency toward hyperinflammation in the cytokine storm that comes with COVID, and have a greater tendency toward getting on ventilators, which are very bad because ventilators don't work very well for COVID. When a person's on a ventilator with COVID, it's not a good thing. So the outcomes aren't great. So if we can keep people off of ventilators and we can keep their immune system supported really well with nutrition, that ideally makes the most sense, explains Dr. Osborne. He says, the most recent studies show that 9 out of 10 COVID-19 deaths could have been prevented if people had adequate vitamin D levels. Vitamin D in our bodies often goes down in the wintertime because fewer people are outside and not soaking it up from the sun. You need at least 20 minutes of sunlight every day to get an adequate amount, which is why a supplement is often needed to get a healthy amount, especially for those of us who live in apartments. You know what I mean? If it's raining outside, you live in an apartment, you ain't getting sunshine. You know, I checked my just like regular multivitamin that I've been taking, and it got over 100% of all 4 of these vitamins that I'm about to name. So, you know, think about getting yourself onto a daily multivitamin and just boosting that health up a little bit. We've been talking about immunity for a while here. Some hospitals around the country are using vitamins as a treatment for COVID-19, not just prevention. A lot of doctors are now learning this and coming out and saying that the East Virginia School of Medicine actually has a COVID protocol that includes vitamin D. So if you're a patient who gets hospitalized for COVID, they're automatically putting you on between 20,000 and 60,000 units of vitamin D. This is part of their standard of care protocol in the hospital system. Dr. Osborne believes vitamin D is one of the most simple and affordable ways to help keep you healthy. So that's number 1, vitamin D. Number 2, vitamin C. Now, we all know about vitamin C, right? We all been taking that when we get sick. We do that for the flu. We do that for everything else too. Vitamin C is a little bit tricky in that your body can only absorb so much of it per day. So you can take double the amount that they recommend, but your body won't absorb it, right? So make sure you're staying within that limit of what you're supposed to have every day. So number 2, vitamin C, we know it's working well. There have been some studies on COVID where vitamin C has shown to have very good benefits in the outcome of an illness. Number 3, zinc. Zinc stops viral replication multiple ways. So it prevents the virus from hijacking your DNA, prevents the virus from replicating. It also prevents the virus from entering the cell. So zinc is super important right now. Quercetin, which is what's called a natural bioflavonoid. Quercetin opens up the cells in your body so that zinc can get inside your cells where it works. So think of quercetin as the key. Think of zinc as the repairman that is allowed into the house, so to speak, says Dr. Osborne. Some hospitals are treating COVID with all 4 of those supplements. Dr. Osborne says these are the 4 to focus on to cover all of your bases. So make sure you get that vitamin D, that vitamin C, that zinc, and that quercetin. All right. So I got one more story here before we get into our interview. And it's interesting, because one of the biggest healthcare crises in the United States is racism, right? So, and the way that is playing out with COVID and how these two things kind of work together and are really doing damage to communities of color, right? It's devastating. It's devastating. So I'm going to pull up a graphic right now, and then I'm going to read you this article from the APM Research Lab. They have a dope project called The Color of Coronavirus, and they've just been updating it as we go along with all of the statistics, right? So let me bring up this graphic right here. Yeah, there we go. APM Research Lab, The Color of Coronavirus. The ongoing Color of Coronavirus project monitors how and where COVID-19 mortality is inequitably impacting certain communities to guide policy and community responses to these disproportionate deaths. The coronavirus has claimed more than 286,000 American lives through December 8, 2020, including more than 46,000 additional deaths since our last update 4 weeks ago. That's almost twice the losses of the preceding 4 weeks. They've documented the race and ethnicity for 94% of these cumulative deaths in the United States. The latest update reveals that Black and Indigenous Americans continue to suffer the greatest losses, with both groups now experiencing a COVID-19 death toll exceeding 1 in 800 nationally. And for the first time, APM began tracking this data. The Indigenous rate exceeds the rate for Black Americans. APM also adjusts these mortality rates for differences in the age distribution of populations, a common and important tool that health researchers use to compare diseases that affect age groups differently. At the national level, this results in even larger documented mortality disparities. Black, Indigenous, and Latino Americans all have a COVID-19 death rate of more than 2.7 times that of white Americans, who experience the lowest age-adjusted rates. The team at APM Research Lab has independently compiled these death statistics beginning in early April 2020, and you can learn more about how they did that on their website. The result is the most robust and up-to-date portrait of COVID-19 mortality by race available anywhere, with a lens on inequitable deaths. We are now presenting mortality data over time for all states, not just cumulatively, to help us monitor the virus's changing impacts throughout fall and winter. Let's talk about some of the key findings of this study that they got going on here. In the past 4 weeks, the death rates among Indigenous people accelerated the fastest, followed by Pacific Islanders and white folks. Now, these are the cumulative documented nationwide actual mortality impacts from COVID-19 data, and you'll see them scrolling down on the bottom right there. This means 1 in 750 Indigenous Americans has died. 1 in 800 Black Americans has died. 1 in 1,100 Pacific Islander Americans has died. 1 in 1,150 Latino Americans has died. 1 in 1,325 white Americans has died. And 1 in 1,925 Asian Americans has died. Indigenous Americans now have the highest actual COVID-19 mortality rates nationwide, about 2.6 times as high as the rate for Asians, who have the lowest actual rates. Black Americans' death rates are just slightly lower than Indigenous people. So, you know, there are a lot of factors in this crisis, and you know, we're going to continue on this show talking about how, you know, racism is a health crisis. Racism is probably the biggest health crisis in America right now. So let's stop straying away from that, and let's call it exactly what it is. Shout out to APM Research Lab and their Color of Coronavirus study. You can go check that out anytime. Get on the Googles. I know that was heavy. So I don't like to, you know, we got to keep it irreverent here. You know, I think y'all spelled irreverent wrong. You know what I mean? I'm like a reverend of this COVID thing. You know what I mean? So without any further ado, I told you I had a very special guest, right? This is just one of the most powerful poets that I've ever met in my entire life. We've been in some wild trenches together. Been working on changing the world together. She got a new website. She's working on all kinds of new projects. She's been super active the last month or so. Did a couple of live shows, couple of fundraisers, and is just steady out here. An amazing poet, amazing activist. Y'all, it's time for Mask Off with J. Rowe. The crowd already loves you. The crowd already loves you here at ZFG HQ. How you been? How you doing?
Yo, hey brother. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm super pumped to be here. How have I been? We're still kicking. We're making it.
Word. It be like that. How's your quarantine been? What you been up to? How you been spending it?
Yeah. So quarantine has been wild for so many different reasons. But I've been, you know, trying to create, trying to do the work, honestly, you know, a lot of time for reflection and, you know, figuring out next moves, and then also just trying to reconnect with people that I haven't had time to connect with. So, yeah, just trying to be as intentional as I can be during these times.
Super crucial. Yeah. What would you say, like, the most important thing that you've learned in the quarantine, or like what has the quarantine taught you, right? Like, quarantine been full of lessons for all of us, right? Like, what's been the biggest lesson in this quarantine for you?
Am I allowed to cuss on this show?
I mean, you can say whatever you want to.
Honestly, simply put, quarantine has taught me how to sit the fuck down. Truly, just, you know, we talk about we never have time to learn anything new or visit old friends or whatever the case may be, finish that book. But again, this time it's like you're really forced to do things. You have to be so intentional about how you spend your time, or you will lose your mind. You will lose your sanity. So I think it's been nice to be able to sit still, reflect as much as I can. And I mean, really do the work too, right? Like it's not just about improving the dope parts of yourself, but also taking the time to realize that, I'm flawed in this area and I need to fix it, or I'm going to stay flawed in this area. So just, again, kind of coming back to that intentional piece in so many different ways. That's the biggest thing. Just like sit down, chill out. It's okay.
Real talk, and like doing the work. You know, one of the things that I've been really reflecting on is you can see who's been doing the work and who hasn't. Right? Like I'm like, yo, like if you are having like if it's killing you to sit still,
Yep.
there's probably something going on. You know what I mean? Like you probably need to address something inside of you. You know what I mean? Like, and I know folks don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also not here just to tell you what you want to hear, y'all. So yeah, I feel you on that, doing the work. And I think you put that in like really, really like tangible terms of like what doing the work actually is, right? Like that part of like sitting with the uncomfortable parts of yourself, not just being like, yo, I'm a really good poet, so I'm just gonna write really good poems for the next, like, nah, it's about like the parts of you that you struggle with, you know what I mean? Like the woo-woo crowd would call that shadow work.
Ooh, listen to that.
So what's coming up next for you? You working on all kinds of projects and things?
Yeah. So like you mentioned, they got the website up, but it is a continued work in progress.
Always is.
You know. And then also working on my EP. Really excited about that. I'm hoping I'm very excited about this project. Hoping to drop that beginning of February. So it's gonna be entitled "The Distortion of Stillness."
Wow.
Shout out to the pandemic. You know, it's like, but you know, seriously, like we're taught. It's so funny. Like we're taught to just you keep going, no matter what, right? At all costs. Like you can't stop. You have to keep going. And while there is such a time and place to dig in and push, there's also such a necessary point. Like there's a point where you need to just stop and reflect, whether it's stopping to reflect your small victories or your huge victories, or stopping to reflect about like, yo, like that part of me I don't really love, and I need to fix it, and I need to actively work on that, whatever that looks like for you. So that's kind of how the title came to be. But you know, I think it's funny, like the more that I sit still and really think about my next moves and my next steps, the more I'm also able to recognize like my unique parts. And that I think everyone's uniqueness is a gift to the world, right? That's something that like is the world needs. Like I always feel like the most unique parts of yourself is a gift, and it's so important to share. So that's kind of how it be.
All right, so I need to know a little bit more about this EP. You know what I mean? Is this are you like coming out the trap and just barring out on folks? Are you doing some poetry over some music? Who are you working with? What's the vibes?
The vibes, yeah. So it's definitely just, you know, poetry over some dope instrumentals. Working with Ferris. Ferris Ryan helps with all the tracks. And I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's also worked with Brandon Leak from AGT.
Dope.
Yeah, so it's been a really fun process. It has been a bit of a challenge because again, you can't really connect and get together. So it's been just being creative, like, yo, can you Zoom today? Can you hop in? Like, you know, oh, I just downloaded this new program, and trying to make things work the best you can. But it's just been really different from anything that I've done. And I have such a huge appreciation for like musicians. There's so many moving parts to consider when you're trying to create and tell a story, and, you know, just wanting to make sure it sounds like everything belongs together. But again, you want to be able to have distinct sounds with each track. So like, how do you do that? And then the project in itself is really just about like the journey of healing. So like, you know, going through a breakup and then being like, oh shit, okay, I'm pretty messed up. Why am I so hurt right now? Doing the work, okay, these are the flaws. Okay. And that doesn't make you a terrible person. So how do I take these flaws and turn those into strengths? And like, how do I climb out of this black hole that I'm in? And like, it just talks about like your journey to joy, really. That's like the biggest focus. So I think my poetry, people know me from like, you know, social justice, those heavy hitting pieces. And I'd like to think that this project is a little bit softer. It's a lot more vulnerable. It's a lot more vulnerable. So I'm super excited about it.
And I mean, you know, we all about that joy over here. You know what I mean? That's a perfect segue into my next question, which is a question that I ask every guest that comes onto this show. Where are you finding your joy these days?
Yes. Okay. In the smallest little things, truly. Just like seeing friends, whether it's a social distance walk in the park that I haven't seen in a while, taking time to just like veg out in like Netflix when I want to has been great. Reading as much as I can. I try to spend as much time as I can outside. So even if it's just like I'm gonna walk and grab a coffee and then hit the park, or I'm gonna go sit outside and write, which sometimes means I'm just sitting at the park daydreaming until something comes to me. But yeah, just like the little things, like trying to find little things to be excited about. Like, hell, last week I went and bought some popsicles.
Being able, you know, we talk a lot about starting general. You know what I mean? So if it's not these specific little things in your, if it's not that work assignment that I had to get done is not bringing me joy right now, because that's a very specific thing in your life, right? But being able to walk outside and be like, man, it's not raining today. Like, it's super not. I live in California, so this weather is cool. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I always tell people, you know, like when you're like hunting joy, like you can start as soon as you come to consciousness in the morning. Like I'm always on some, my body, like my heart kept beating all night and I didn't tell it nothing. I didn't have to be like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, B, don't slow down now. You know what I mean? Or like, my bed, I got a comfortable ass bed. I got, you know what I mean? Like finding these little like general things, right? Yeah. Like same thing where you're like, go outside, and I go to the park, right? Yeah. Nature, even if it's in the middle of downtown, nature right now will provide some of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, and we're right on the edge of 2020 being over and into 2021. You know what I mean? We got a few days left. So I've been seeing the meme where it's like nobody claim 2020 as your year. Like everyone walk in quietly with your hands in your pockets and don't touch nothing.
Don't touch nothing. Be quiet. Sit down.
So without calling it your year, what are you personally manifesting for 2021?
Yeah, my biggest thing for 2021 is stepping outside of the box, thinking outside of the box. Whether that looks like, I mean, for me, you know, I just finished school, so I'm now wanting to pursue the next level. Yeah.
We love to see it.
Many small flex. Yes, just finished grad school, so that's been really. I'm so excited about that. You know, brother. I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I can't do it. But I want to keep going because my vision in terms of like my career has become a lot more clear. If I want to affect change, a long-lasting change, I think it's important for me to work in higher education and like really push young minds that are going to be working with the students and the upcoming poets and artists, like really push those people to get out of their comfort zone so they know how to help others do the same, right? And just like that's really what it is in terms of that goal. And then creatively continuing to like really try new things, dabbling more in music. Shoot, I just like.
Let me know when you need them trap beats. I got you.
Hey, and I might like, I really might try to just like, I might try to rap this
Let's
year.
go.
I don't know. We'll see. But
Let's
something
get it.
different. Yeah, just trying to stay open this year, truly. I don't know where the wind's going to take me. There is a lot of uncertainty in my life, but also like, that's cool. That means I'm not stuck to anything. So, you know, that's it.
Man, that view right there, you know, I was talking to someone earlier today about just that uncertainty, right? And like, and my response was kind of like, yo, this year ain't taught you anything about making plans. You know what I mean? Like, you could plan all you want to, and then a whole global pandemic will come in and shut down all of those plans. So I love what you said there about, you know, that uncertainty. Also on the other side of that coin, meaning that you're not stuck to anything and you're not like, you know, bound to any certain path right now. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, before we go, can we get a little something, a little fire, a little.
No, we can't. Just kidding.
Then they would be the equivalent of giving me coal for Christmas.
Wait, okay. Can I just say that was the funniest? I can't. I'm about to give somebody coal next year. Don't mind me.
Yo, it's like I know that it means that I'm a bad person on certain levels when I'm like laughing that hard at little kids crying. But it was hilarious, right?
It was funny.
Also, like, disclaimer, neither one of us have kids. You know what I mean? So, but I also feel like it's even funnier if they are your kids. You know, like,
are the parents like low key heckling them?
Yeah. Come on,
we can barbecue,
bruh.
When she hit him with the barbecue joy, I giggled out loud for sure.
I like the dude who was like, "That Santa's a savage."
Heck a savage, heck a beast. But yeah, I'm definitely down to say some words.
Yeah, give us a little something before you take off into the ethers.
Yeah, so yeah, real quick. This poem is called A Note to Self. Just a reminder to be kind to yourself. I think this quarantine has been hard because we do have to sit with our thoughts a lot, and sometimes it gets overwhelming, but just stay in there, do the work, and be kind to yourself in the process. All right. Dear self, remember the good. Pray for the future self that will do her best to love you. Forgive her if she fails to. Forgive her when she fails to. She won't always be easy to decode. Writings on the wall will paint portraits of hurting heartbeats pulsing in bluest hope. She will be angry often, but she will love hard. She will love so damn hard, so let her fall apart if she needs to. Let her fall apart when she needs to. Self. Remember happiness, which is to say, smile with all of your teeth, even when rage scorches the inside of your mouth. Let love flow through concrete ventricles. Harvest courage in the creases of your palm. Learn the primitive practice of metamorphosis. Find freedom in forgiveness, which is to say, blossom. Self. You are beautiful. You are so damn beautiful, even the broken parts that have never been mutually exclusive. So fill empty space with elements of salvation and love. Be the monument in between dreams and reality, which is to say, move, queen. Say yes to all things good and some things bad. And when you realize the magnitude of your movement, glory will unfold in the most delicate way. Let the rhythmic nature of confidence persuade each step. I repeat, move, queen. Build Body back up like skyscraper. Move like ballerina and Mack truck be broken and whole and everything in between. Dear self, I forgive you. Which is to say, I love you.
Wow. See, that's what we needed. That's what we needed to leave off with. Y'all, go follow J Rowe on everything. Rowe Writes on Instagram, ROWE.writes on the gram. Go find her there. That'll give you a link to everything else. And sis, I love you so much. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love you. Also, your beard is on point.
It's working out, right? It's working out. I had to give it a little trim before the show last week because it was getting a little manny. You know what I mean?
Just keep it just like Father Time. Just let it go.
All right, love. I shall see you on the other side. We'll connect soon. Thanks for being here. Y'all give it up for J Rowe.
Much
All right, y'all. That brings us to episode 9, the very end. So that means we got one more episode left. We got one episode left with the Latino Center of Art and Culture. So I would make sure that you are tuned in next week because it's going to be a banger. And I got a big announcement. I can't believe I actually didn't make the announcement tonight. I thought I was going to be so excited that I was just going to blurt it out. But I'm going to actually keep everybody in suspense until next week to make an announcement about the future of the Masked Up live stream. We're gonna take this to somewhere that it's never been, y'all. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all. Shout out to the Latino Center of Art and Culture, the Office of Art and Culture in Sacramento. Shout out to SNR for their irreverent love of this live stream here. And shout out to Zeus out in New Zealand. We love you, we miss you, and we hope you come home soon. We're going to take it out with one of our favorites. Give it to him, Samuel.
Stay the at home. The Rona is spreading. This is no joke. It's no time to work or roam. The way you can fight it is simple, my friends. Just stay the at home. Now, technically, I'm not a doctor, but motherfuckers listen when I read a poem. So here I am, Sam Jackson, imploring you, keep your ass at home. If you want things to get back to normal, don't panic. Just use your dome. Wash your hands, stop touching your face, and stay the at home. Motherfucker, it's no time to gamble. Look around, you're not at a casino. Just stay the home as if your name was Trenton Quarantino. Sure, you can still see your friends. Use the mother app on your phone. But unless you just ran out of groceries, please stay the at home. Thank you for doing your part to flatten the curve, because that is steep. And now that you're home, please feel free to go the to sleep. The end.